Hi, it's Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style, coming to answer your colour and style question. How do I know what patterns suit me? So when we're thinking about patterns can come in all different forms, so we've got animal prints, we've got florals, we've got stripes, we've got checks, we've got abstract prints, we have geometric prints. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So lots of different sorts of prints. So there are a few things to think about when selecting prints. So number one is personality. Well, what prints do you like? And I notice people either love or hate animal prints. They either love or hate florals. There's a what are you drawn to? What do you really aesthetically love looking at? So that is number one. What does your personality like? But then even within that, there's still different varieties of, do I like large florals, small florals? Do I like big checks, small checks? Do I like stripes? What do I like? So having a look at within that as well is what version of that do you go for? And this is where you start looking at your physicality. So for example, if you have very straight hair and you like more geometric prints, you might find that stripes really work well because they work with the straightness of your hair and they reflect that. If you have very curvy facial features, you might find that more curved patterns work better for you than straight patterns, versus if you've got the really angular features, then you'll find more angular or geometric prints may work better for you. So looking at those elements of design that are within you and seeing how, if there's any relationship between you and the patterns that you like, or what version of those patterns do you like. If you've got a very curvy body, generally you'll find that straight patterns don't work as well over the curves because they start to bend and then they look distorted, versus if you've got a curvier body, then patterns that have curves in them work much better. So looking at that harmony of design, so your design, what elements of design go up to make you, curved lines, straight lines, angular lines, all those sorts of things, and then looking at the patterns and how they go with us. Because even something like a floral can be a more angular floral if the leaf has a pointed end, versus a much more, say a blousy rose, which has a much more curved element. So even within something like that, there are still differences between the two, and looking at things like the texture of your hair, and does that look like any sort of pattern in particular, or things like if you have kind of freckled skin, you might really like marl sort of pattern. That's that kind of speckly pattern that you see in a lot of sportswear, or you might like animal prints, or you might like polka dots, or you might like small bitty florals. All examples of small kind of patterns that work well with freckles. If you have, very blunt, straight hair and things like that, you might find that you like the more geometric or the more, stripes, things like that. And they relate very well to that, squareness or angularness that's within you. So really, when we're thinking about patterns, yes, there's personality, but then there's also the elements of design that are within you and how that can relate to the shapes and styles in the patterns. So having a look at all the patterns, and this is where taking some photographs of yourself in the different patterns you own and seeing which you think actually look the best on you. And of course, there's also the things like color contrast and value contrast and all those things as well that are going to come into the exact version of a pattern. But this is where there's so many different elements to it. And this is part of also what we learn in 7 Steps of Style, looking at all those different aspects of choosing things based on your own personal design and then relating them to the design of the things around you. So there's no one right answer. And even within all patterns, you might, choose different versions of different sorts of patterns. So a floral is not a floral. Just because I like florals doesn't mean I love every single floral in the world. Just because somebody likes stripes doesn't mean I love every single stripe. Like, these are all different sorts of patterns, and there'll be ones we like more than others, and there'll be some that go better with us. And of course, things like scale as well. What is your overall body scale? Are you a small person or a larger person? Do you want small scale patterns or a larger scale patterns? And then what's your personality? Because personality also influences scale. So all these things need to come together to figure out which are the ones that really appeal to you. So hopefully that's helped you think about what kind of patterns, what kind of hairstyles, all the different aspects, going shopping, what to buy, what not to buy, and all these things. And this is why I think getting a style education is so useful, because it can help you start to hone in. There is so much choice out there. and it's so easy to go wrong that it's really great to be able to hone in on what really works for us, what we like, what speaks to us, and also what speaks to our physicality as well, and then make our decisions. That's when we get to make the best decisions rather than kind of random decisions or emotional decisions based on what is happening. Well, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.